Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Media's publications, Transformer Technology, Power Systems Technology, and Women in Power Systems. We're here at the IEEE PEST&D conference in Anaheim in 2024, the 60th anniversary. These interviews are with thought leaders to be able to bring the best of the marketplace to you. My next guest is Nand Singh. Nand and I met a while back. Well, I actually worked for a company that tried to buy your company, and you said no. So let's before we get to that, I want to talk, because you're a very unique man. You're both a PhD doctor, you still teach, you are a serial entrepreneur because you started and sold companies. You now are the founder and owner of MinMax, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But go back to the beginning. Tell me about how you got started in the power industry.
I got actually started in the power industry in 1985.
85, wow,
yes.
38 years ago.
Yes, I joined this company. That was my third company after I graduated from SMU, Southern Methodist University.
Teaching now?
I was a student at that time.
Okay, but you're teaching there now.
I'm teaching. I'm an adjunct faculty, and I've been teaching ever since I was a student.
Really?
From 1979, teaching is my passion, whether it is teaching students in a classroom or teaching field engineers out there at a substation or in a conference. That's my mental hobby. That's my mental LA fitness.
You are a lifelong learner and you're a lifelong teacher.
Correct. That as long as I continue to do that and enjoy that, I think there is no scope for me for retirement.
Yeah, good. So you're at SMU, you graduate. What was your degree in?
Undergraduate, I'm an aerospace engineer from India.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
so I came to Cincinnati on a scholarship. It was a NASA University of Cincinnati scholarship to do my master's in aerospace. I took up that because it was an opportunity. I'm always an opportunity-driven person, even though I was coming to United States for my MBA. But I said, this is a good opportunity to do some research and get a master's degree. So I went to Cincinnati. My claim to fame there is that I had Neil Armstrong as my professor for 2 quarters.
Did you really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I thought, my goodness, I could never had a better opportunity than that. So I completed my master's and then came to SMU to do my MBA. And being an engineering student in business school, I got drifted towards mathematical modeling. So I did my third master's in operations research and then went on to do my doctorate in engineering management. And so that was my academic.
Oh, wow.
And in the process, I started teaching. I found that I was really enjoying that. So I continued to maintain that track of my life while I was pursued my professional degree. And having a degree in aerospace and my doctorate, you know how people say that you don't have to be a rocket scientist or you don't have to have a PhD to figure this out. I tell my customers, I have 2 in 1. If I can't figure out that problem, nobody else can.
Yeah. What was your first company that you started?
The first company was BEST System, Business and Engineering Software Technology.
Right.
And this I started after getting introduced to utility industry. It was in 1985 that I joined a company that was actually the technology transfer arm of EPRI.
Okay.
So anything that EPRI did, it came through us. So we were the quality control people, all the research documents, all the software and everything. We will do the validation, verification of that, and then release it to EPRI members and go out and conduct seminars, invite the researchers and show them what is new coming out of EPRI.
Yeah.
So that was, even though I'm aerospace and MBA, that was a very disciplined, methodical orientation, introduction to power industry. And I really enjoyed it. The more I got into it, the more I enjoyed it. And especially I found out that the field that I would see, mostly the field engineers, they were not high at the totem pole of the visibility of the headquarters of most of the utilities, especially from IT.
Right.
Any automation, it will be only limited to the headquarters. It didn't go out, and that bothered me. And I saw a lot of potential that they could be helped, they could be served if somebody was stepping up to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe there was not that much profit margin for the big blue companies and so forth. That stayed with me. And I said that if I ever got an opportunity, I would get into that field and do it on my own terms, in my own way.
And so you did.
So that BST, the business, I started that, it took off, we did well, and one of our very large customers acquired us in 2002. And but they were not in the power industry, they were in a different industry.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, so I kind of kept all my power industry interest and other things on the side,
Right.
thinking that once I fulfill my term, I might revisit this whole thing. And so in 2000, fast forward 2010, I got an opportunity. It's pure serendipity.
Okay. Which is the best way, right?
Which is the best
Yeah.
way. I'm a person made of opportunities.
Right.
You know, keep your eyes and ears open, and if you see an opportunity, see if you can pursue that. And there was a city of Weatherford here in close to Fort Worth in Texas, and they were looking for something else for their police department, some software, and we were in the software company building solutions for any industry, and we did a very good job, and they were very impressed, and they said, now that you have taken care of our police department, can you also take care of these electrical engineers, and I don't know what they are doing. And so I said, sure, yeah. And I sat down with them, and this person said that I have been doing all this, I'm a substation manager, and I do the inspections and collect all this data. He was very proud of this access program that he had written, and was showing me all the sheets, etc. And I was the principal investigator for EPRI's main flagship substation inspection program that
Really?
They spent a lot of money and time, and it was done for IOUs. And I showed them, I said, look, this is the manuscript, this is what we did for EPRI. And he said, well, that's way too much for me. I'm looking for just an efficiency, just a small efficiency where I can sleep, turn that into a couch and small desk. You got this 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I don't need all those things.
You have a Mack truck and he wanted a pickup truck.
That's right. So I came back home. I couldn't sleep. I said, if I ever want to get back into power industry, this is my entryway. This is my opportunity. So I went back to his boss, director, and I said, tell you what, I know he's looking for an efficiency. I'll give you. Eventually you will need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage, a 2-car garage and all those things. But I'll build that for you, build that for the price of an efficiency for you. The only condition is that when it is ready, you will come out and say that this is built right, built perfectly for us, the testimonial. And he looked at me and he said that I don't see why we would not go for that.
And he did.
He did. And Microsoft did a story on it because it was using Microsoft SharePoint.
Okay. All right.
And Microsoft when saw that the SharePoint has been taken to the field and doing some electrical stuff. To them, it was a very complex thing. They did a story on it, and T&D World people somehow got wind of it, and immediately after that, they did a story on it, and then the rest is history. Now, we are 109 customers, coast to coast, Canada, and munis, distribution co-ops, GNTs, and one IOUs, and it has taken us into compliances. I just attended FERC Order 881 for facility ratings compliances that is upcoming, and larger utilities are going to be struggling to get that implemented, and we seem to be an active player in that space now.
When you think of doing things like that, and you think of all of the things that you've done, where are you going with it? You're just going to let it grow, and somebody's going to come along and buy it from you. You know that.
I'm sure there'll be
We tried once. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And thank you. I'm sorry that it didn't work out,
Yeah.
but the respect that I had for can I say the name of the company?
Sure.
Yeah, SD Myers.
Yeah.
It went up. I always carried your inspection sheet, result sheets, the pink colors in my binder, and that one day we will produce all these things by getting the raw data from SD Myers, and I could not believe that here is SD Myers talking to me and saying that to become part of us.
Yeah.
So I was very humbled by that, and it was a tremendous confidence booster for me. So as I mentioned that, just because on the first date it didn't work out doesn't mean that I'm not ready for
Well, Dale has
repeat of
gone
that.
on to be he is now the CEO of the holding company.
Yes.
Because they're now owned by a holding company. I've retired and then did something called EPRA, the Electric Power Reliability Alliance, which I retired from 4 years ago, and now serendipity, if some friend called up and said, hey, do you want to publish a magazine? And I said, I've never published before. I like writing, but I don't know about publishing. And now we publish 3 magazines, not just one, but 3.
Good, yes.
And we have a broadcast division, video. We have a print division, magazines and digital magazines. And we have a social media, which is we call our distribution division. So it's just getting content out. So it's a lot of fun, but that's a great way to live, isn't it?
Yeah, Alan, I'm very impressed with all these things, and we are very excited about you being the keynote speaker at our upcoming user conference.
Well,
next
you're
year.
ahead of yourself there because we're going to get to that, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to publish something prior to, and then we want to publish after the fact. Let's go back to you. Go back to the company. You've kind of done this on is your son involved? Are they kids?
No.
Okay.
No family members. Just
have you thought about you need a successor here?
Well, we have 2 daughters.
Right.
And both are doctors.
Okay.
And
I thought you had a son. No.
No, their husbands are also doctors, and
Okay.
one is a businessman, and he's doing extremely well. He had his own company and sold it at the age 29 in a different field. So while he knows that in Plan B and Plan C succession that I'm counting on him, but he's got other channels, etc.
Okay.
I still think that I don't want that thought to come into my mind. I just want to continue,
right.
Because sometimes when you start second guessing, you spend way too much time just looking back and see
I agree.
there might be
I agree.
I just have to keep going.
But tell me, because when we were talking originally, and you had developed for, I think, the 6 co-op customers, and you developed, talk about that product and why that was so valuable to what they needed, because that's a hard industry to break into. They're always like, well, call on me for 30 years and I might buy from you. And here you are coming along and suddenly you've taken it.
Unlike, fortunately for me, Alan, money was not the driver. But after having seen, while working with supporting EPRI and larger utilities, and how much they did not care about the field people,
right?
And when I inquired about as to why some of the leading products, and I can name them, Maximos of the world, would not address them, it was simply because there's not enough money. But there was a need. And I firmly believe that if you fulfill that need, they will get educated and they will find that they can not only use that tool, they can extend it, enhance it, and do more, get more out of it. And I could afford to do that. And I knew the problem. I knew that it had been 15, 20 years and still nobody had addressed it. So when City of Weatherford gave me the opportunity, as I mentioned that I was ready to build a mansion for somebody who was just looking for an efficiency.
Right.
So people said that there's not much money, you have to have large numbers. And I said that that is not my driver right now. My driver is there's a niche, there's a need in this industry, and I believe that I owe it to this industry because I've spent better part of my prime life in this one here. And since I can afford to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Money will come. If I have a large group of customers rallying behind me, and they stick with me, they stay with me, money will come.
Yeah.
And that's what is happening. I don't know what was the threshold, whether it was 30 customers or 40 customers, but we have 100 plus customers, larger size, money is coming in, and nobody was holding a gun to our head that if you don't have these features, etc., we are going to discontinue the subscription. We sold the product as release 3.0, and we have now a 10 point something.
Okay.
And we haven't charged any incremental price, but we have continued to give them the media room equivalent of tennis court, pool, everything, and they're taking it, they're using it, they're enjoying it, and I'm saying that I'm not going to charge you anything. You just stick with me,
Yeah.
and get more customers. We don't have a salesperson.
Oh, you do?
So it goes against the MBA textbook.
Yeah, I know.
You have to look at the bottom line. And the good thing was, Alan, that I was in charge, I was a custodian, and I knew that what risk I was exposed to. And when I would see the glow and the glow of satisfaction in the eyes of my users, customers, and they said that I'm going to talk to my neighboring utilities.
Yeah.
I knew that we were on the right track.
The idea that the user, and that's what we saw when we looked at first at what you did was, number one, there was a huge need for it. Number two, you made it simple. It wasn't this complex. You made it simple so that people could understand it. And even though it is not simple, because now you've got the expansion capability, you've done all these other things with it, but you made it simple for people, which is early adopters got on, and then from that, the word builds out, hey, this is a trustworthy company, a trustworthy product, a trustworthy way of doing something. So I applaud you in that. The other thing, you kind of hit it. In capitalist societies, when it becomes all about the dollar, I think we get corrupted by the dollar. And we get short-term thinking, as opposed to the true entrepreneur finds a need and says, I'm going to fill it, fills the need, and doesn't think, how much am I going to make, how much am I going to sell it for? And someone will come along and offer you a lot of money for it, I'm sure. But if you I'm done with that part of the world, so I'm not part of that equation. But before you sell it, you let me do negotiating for you, okay? Because I know the value.
You can count on that one. I'll definitely be reaching out to you.
I want to, so Dallas, I've been invited to speak at your conference coming. I'm looking forward to it. My wife is coming.
Wonderful,
okay,
thanks.
So we've got that on the schedule already. Tell me a little bit about the conference. It's your user conference, right?
So this is our user conference. I remember, I would be with EPRI, we'll be invited to all these major conferences.
Right.
And some vendors will have the well-known products, and there'll be conference around those products. I'll be sitting over there, and I said, I wonder, the whole genesis of how did they get here? Wouldn't it be nice, if you created something your own, and there'll be people rallying behind, and they would pay out of their pocket, take 3-4 days from their work, and come and. It was something on my bucket list, and kept hounding me that. Especially IBM, I would go to IBM's conferences, etc. Yeah. So my third customer in Missouri, he said, hey, have you ever thought of doing a user conference? And I said, are you making fun of me? You're the third customer.
Well, the three of you get together at an IHOP.
That's right. But that's definitely a dream of mine that one day you will bring some other utilities, etc., and we'll have enough of a crowd that we can do that. And it was in 2016 that we said we need to bring our customers together, and everybody was doing things differently. In substation, in asset management, you have your reactive and corrective maintenance, and then you move up to preventive maintenance. Then you get a little bit smarter and collect more data. You go to predictive maintenance, then you start getting into the root cause analysis and become proactive, and then you are at the top, continuous improvement. But it takes a certain discipline, certain steps to get there. And so I defined, since I teach project management at SMU, project management has something called project management maturity.
Okay.
So I felt that why not bring that maturity stair step to the utility world?
Right.
That everybody, most of them are doing firefighting, corrective and reactive. And they are all dreaming about that. We wish that we had a system that could help us do preventive maintenance, time-based, schedule-based. And that's what we had. And once you start collecting data, then you have all the computing powers, now AIs, etc. You want to do data analytics, look at things different ways, right?
Right.
And create the conditions, the triggers that will automatically alert you that this is what. Do the predictive maintenance. And once you do that, then you start recognizing what are the critical elements that are failing, that are going to be failing often and bringing the entire system down. Then become proactive up to doing the root cause analysis by doing all these things. So I said, this is what we should take our customers on the path of this asset management maturity,
Right.
along the lines of project management. So we made that as a theme of the first user conference. So invited, I think we had 10 of the customers. I pleaded with them, please come, it is very important. So they came to Dallas for 2 days, and I introduced this concept. I had a couple of speakers also, and they saw value in that, and these other users, they presented the use cases as to how they are using the system. So people were learning, and I could see that they were taking notes from each other and during the networking. And I asked them point blank, did you find it worthwhile? Do you think man, absolutely, we should be doing it. The third year, I think we had 60. And then we got hit by pandemic.
Right.
And then after that, during the pandemic, we had virtual, and we had 100 plus attendees. And then we signed up with Marriott Resort with golf courses, so it became a 3-day event with tutorials, advanced tutorials, use cases, customers coming in, presenting their cases, and we will be supporting that with our concept. And the third day will be user forum where they will sit on, and we said that this is your system. You tell us what else could be done. You are the driver, and we won't do anything unless you tell us that needs to be done. We have done everything that we needed, that we knew. Now we have saturated at that level. And they find it very helpful. And they have been coming. Last year we had 75, 80. Unfortunately, we moved it by a week, and we didn't realize that we need to be, while we doing the scheduling, we look at to see what are the other trade shows going on around that time. One thing we did not take into consideration.
What was that?
The hunting season.
Those are the hunters and
That's
fishermen.
right.
Oh gosh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we moved it up, and with last year we had Mark Labby, who was the chief engineer of NERC, executive vice president. He was the keynote speaker. We are very excited. You will be the keynote speaker.
Looking forward to it.
We have already started sending the feelers out, and much in advance. So user conference, when we sit back and see how they are learning from each other, it's very gratifying, Alan. Just sitting there, and they are learning from each other. We are just the medium facilitator.
A good model of that is the Doble Client Conference. We were just at the Doble Client Conference. It's not quite the same as it used to be, but it was that client conference, and they came and they shared, and they get a lot of high. I know that GE, their monitoring and diagnostics group, is doing one in Atlanta this year. Same thing. It's you talk to their clients, they're saying the best thing we come to, because it's clients talking to clients, sitting at round tables. Good idea here, good idea. What is GE monitoring and diagnostic? They get. Hey, this is what the marketplace wants. These are the issues. Last question, IEEE.
Okay.
You've been a member a good long while. Were you a student member?
Yes, I was a student member, and then on and off when I sold my company, there was a hiatus of a few years, and then back. A tremendous organization. I don't see how you can be operating in power industry without using the 4 letters of IEEE and that you are a member of IEEE. For me, coming from 15 years, 17 years of working with EPRI, IEEE was the validation platform for us.
Right.
That for everything we would go and see what IEEE has to say, what IEEE is coming out, and using IEEE is a very convincing and validating of your
credibility
concept.
with the organization.
The credibility and also any concept, any ideas.
Yeah.
If I go and if I come up with some suggestions, let's say in asset management, it used to be that you have CMMS, comprehensive maintenance management, and then IBM came out with enterprise asset management, almost two different ends.
Right.
I think there's a middle ground somewhere, and I'm launching this thing called CAP.
Yeah.
It's a centralized asset management. So you got the assets in OTs, you got the aerial technologies, all these drones, etc.
Yeah.
You got the communication technologies, you got the information technologies. Assets is all scattered around.
Right.
And you can't just operate in a silo of just one OT without considering that component of asset coming from communications or aerial or IT. IEEE comes out and says that there has to be a happy medium of bringing all these things together in order to do asset management. So when I quote IEEE, all the research and all the pundits and gurus that talk on behalf of IEEE, it lends a lot of credibility to what you are saying, to what you're doing. And running an organization, IEEE becomes a de facto sounding board for me.
Right, yeah. It's interesting because the word that keeps coming in my mind is collaboration. IEEE is the glue that makes collaboration work, you bring vendors into it, you bring utilities into it all. And too often, too many of the smaller utilities, like co-ops, they don't think they have a play. They think IEEE is, it's not, it's the entire grid network. A lot of good work done here. And one of the things that strikes me is for the benefit of society. We need an organization like IEEE for the benefit of society. It's not for the benefit of the company, not for the benefit of the shareholders, for the benefit of society. And it's truly been, as an IEEE member, I feel like I'm giving back to that organization. By the way, we formed an organization. I say we, this is my next retirement. I've already retired again. It's called Safety and Reliability Association. It's a not-for-profit for the benefit of society, for industrial and commercial safety and reliability. They're the two sides of the same coin. It could be safety and resilience, but whatever. So we formed that organization in December, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. I'm the co-chair. I have 3 other chairs because I said, I'll do it if you will do it, because don't put it all on me. But and I got to think of when they said, what is the model you want to do after? We're not going to be a standards organization. We're going to be kind of like what you talk about, application to the field service people, to the field engineer, the people that need it most. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that in the industrial space as opposed to the utility space.
Oftentimes people equate IEEE with standards, IEEE. But we shouldn't forget that that got a lot of guidelines.
Yeah.
So follow those guidelines as best practices, but adopt them and make them as your proven practices.
Yeah.
Don't be swayed by and blinded by because somebody's doing it, so it must be good. It must fit your environment.
Yeah.
And IEEE, I look at IEEE from the guideline point of view.
Okay.
And learn and see what all you can adopt and turn that into your own proven practice and take it to your customers.
Excellent. Nand Singh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for the opportunity.